Australian, mate?
Australia.
Favourite Australian word?
Dingo.
Dingo?
Crikey. But I never heard it.
No, but you're saying it too
I
American.
like heaps.
Fortnite.
Fortnite. Everything that you guys have done this weekend. So it actually was such a massive weekend. Max, was it what you expected it to be?
No, not at all. I didn't have any expectations. It was a long process behind the scenes. From the idea to the actual conception was well over a year, but it just goes to show that if you stick with something, and what's important is that you finish it and you follow through with your idea, and you're able to have a weekend like this where you give an opportunity to 8 brilliant and hungry and very, very, very talented artists and dancers, and they'll handle the rest. Like, you can't write their destiny for them, but you can help them achieve it. So blown away times 1,000%.
I feel like the talent in Australia is strong, and I remember the last time I was here too. Like, you guys are just freaks on this little island. Like, you guys they're so good. Australians are so good.
Yeah.
I think they're mature dancers.
Maturity in dance, I think, is portrayed with sense of self.
Mm-hmm.
You can have the most dance ability, but if you don't know how to project yourself, then it doesn't read well. But it reads very well on a lot of the dancers out here in Australia.
Mm-hmm. What is it that turns the key to go from taking your passion to being able to execute it and make it your work?
Like, you have to train hard for dance for sometimes 4 or 6 years before you work.
When it comes down to it, anybody that wants to achieve something has to have a certain amount of grit to just push through one excuse after another, right? And if you let that excuse hold you back, then you stay in the same place.
Sometimes our blockages are the things that don't help us to get through to another challenge. For instance, this program was a huge fear financially for us to be able to put on, and also it was out of my comfort zone. Mm-hmm. But at some point, like you said, you push through that and you keep going into another field. What is it for a dancer? What's a tip to be able to push through fear and fear of failure or fear of rejection, to be able to get to the other side and actually sustain a great career?
As a choreographer, by having vision and goals, when I was younger, I walked in the studio and I'm gonna teach here one day, and I walked into Millennium and it clicked. When early on, I was I'm gonna teach here. I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna do that. I knew it so early on because I had a vision. Mm-hmm. So it was just there. And I know mentoring people and teaching people that don't have a vision, or their vision is not you can have long-term goals and short-term goals, but the people that don't really have direction, they're the ones that kind of get lost. You have to have a goal and a clear path, because then stuff just goes away. And if you have beliefs and what you're doing isn't in your beliefs, if it's not in your beliefs, then you don't do it. So you have stuff that always takes you home. Mm-hmm. And if you're not home and you're not in line, then you don't do it. And always check in with yourself, and
that's good.
This is another huge thing. Sometimes your goals will change, mm-hmm. and you got to forget about your old goals and go with the new ones. So it's okay. Maybe one time in my career, I wanted to do this and never got it, but I might be past it, and you can get rid of that goal and make new ones.
That's good. That's gold nuggets. When you do live in a frantic world, you're being flown boom, 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 there and there, and you're the same. Both of you guys are, and you're saying you need to check in. What do you do to get to those moments where you can check in and have clarity and be still in the midst of so much chaos and stress and pressure to perform and travel and exhaustion?
Just doing what you love, having a cup of coffee and just reading a good book, or listening to a podcast, or anything any guilty pleasure that you have for yourself, know if it's healthy or not, and indulge and do what it takes to ground yourself and get you comfortable with getting to, I guess, a level of neutrality, to where you can recollect and reassess, and if you were knocked off the beaten path, figure out where you're at now and just see how you can continue moving forward, and instead of going back to the old path.
How I assess is just go home, just be wherever you're yourself, and just get grounded for a second. And it might be for some people it might be church, it might be here, it might be on the cliff of the mountain, just take a second, yeah, and just like as a dancer and artist, like you need to learn how to coach yourself. Like you need to write stuff down, like have a vision board, have a goal board. Like you need to check in with yourself, like make time for yourself. And some people are blessed, like they've had mentors that like help them, but some people like had to be their own coach. So like you gotta like just sit down and like be with yourself and like and get used to it. You have to learn how to put yourself first, and it's you first and everyone else second, because if you're not happy, the people around you aren't happy, you know? So like you have to always have to honor yourself first.
Be really receptive to the people that support you and the people that push you up and the people that you get excited to push up. You know, dance is something that you have to like invest in, just like a relationship. Like it's like a plant. If you don't water it, then it doesn't grow, you know? Like you nurture and care for something and then you watch it blossom and then you're proud of it at the end. I'm pursuing a career of entertainment, and that in itself is like the biggest blessing ever. I never thought I'd be doing it, and so I just told myself that I just might as well enjoy it while I have it, because there's a lot of people that would love to be in my shoes.
Thankful. Such good words of wisdom, both of you guys. Love you both so much.
Thank you.
So I'm genuinely shocked that I'm going to Los Angeles. Like that is up.